Hello, I am Yomesh from CY Corp. Today I'm going to speak about the new latest 3320B, a regulation which is a game changer in redevelopment in Mumbai. BMC is in dire need of substantial PAPs for various infrastructure projects that it's undertaking. Hence, to enhance this, the earlier regulation of 20B substantially stands modified today. Modification has recently been updated and modified on 15th of October 2024. This regulation is going to be a game changer for all developments across the city length and breadth. The key aspects is going to be discussed in this video. The FSI, starting with the FAR FSI, the development of affordable housing and rehabilitation and resettlement. This is the prima facie the reason of awarding this additional FSI. So FSI is going to be enhanced up to 3 and up to 4 for projects in Mumbai city and suburbs. So there is an incentive scheme apart from your regulations. Let me start with some of the key points as the regulation reads. The key points are very important. The permissible FSI may be allowed to be exceeded up to 4. When a private owner, other than a government body, any private owner proposes to develop a non-reserved and a non-designated plot, the permissible FSI is going to be exceeded to 4 for private owners for rehabilitation and resettlement and affordable housing projects. This is going to be allowed only on plots, private plots, which are not reserved and they are not designated for any purpose. That is very important. The area of handing over of AHRNR will be free of cost to MCGM. So BMC is going to benefit from this regulation. The proposed the plot owners, the private plot owners will be providing affordable houses and rehabilitation and resettlement projects. The private plot owners will be proposing to hand over tenements for the sake of affordable housing and resettlement and rehabilitation free of cost to MCGM. Now, this area which is going to be handed over free of cost to MCGM, the MCGM desires to give a lot of incentive for the private plot owners to provide this in their premises or as the case may be. So let's go one by one. So point 1, FSI is going to be exceeded up to 4. Having said that, the regulation is clear. For a 12-meter road, it's applicable only for roads 12 meters and above and 18 meters and above. So for a 12-meter road, FSI will be 3 max, and for an 18-meter road, FSI will be 4. That is the top level of FSI. Very interesting thing to look at is that the government has modified the regulation to allow FSI on gross plot area. Very interesting thing to note. The FSI is on gross plot area, including your road setback, road widening, any prescribed road or sanctioned DP road. This is a game changer. The FSI is going to be enhanced because of gross plot area. The provision shall not apply to FSI less than 1. That doesn't matter. The provision shall also not apply to the plots which are in the provision shall also apply. In fact, these provisions are also applicable to the projects which are already developed. What does this signify? What does this imply? It implies that those people who have already constructed OC is granted and they have certain irregularities or maybe they have used areas which are beyond their FSI. They can also use this FSI and regularize and live in peace. That's the most amazing part. Proposal under this regulation may be allowed to be combined. Another game changer. They are allowing you to combine this 22 regulation with the regular regulation 30, which is the road width FSI policy. You can combine it with the 33.6, 33.7 CES category structures. Also, you can enhance your FSI from 3 to 4. You can also combine it with the tenanted premises 33.7A and also combine it with the 33.7B, which is a society redevelopment. But the maximum FSI shall be as per the table, 12 meters 3 and 18 meters 4. This is the crux of the FSI. Coming to the carpet areas for affordable housing, stroke RNR, you have to provide a minimum carpet area of 300 square feet, 27.88, or as may be decided by government from time to time. The commissioner can also allow a larger area depending on planning and other criteria as per housing department. The ratio of built up area will be 1.2 times of the carpet. Now, the carpet will also include those passages which are not free of FSI. There are passages which are counted in FSI, which are common areas, including amenities and facilities that are provided for the AH and RNR. Those carpet areas into 1.2 are also eligible for the incentive FSI. The owner has to declare his intention to develop the property for affordable housing, that is under regulation 33B, and clearly mark it on the plan. That is the criteria. The additional FSI over and above the zonal basic FSI may be released in correlation to the rehab or AH, which means 1:1. So you provide IOD of affordable housing, you get IOD of sale. You provide CC of affordable housing, you get CC of sale. You get further CC of affordable housing, you get further CC of sale. You get OC of affordable housing, after which only you can get the OC of the sale component proportionate to the rehab component. So this is a game changer because earlier the correlation was 0.5:1. Now the new regulation provides you in correlation to 1:1. Now this is exactly at par with the 3311 regulations, which are taken by the SRA regulations. So bringing 3320 at par with 3311 gives a huge boost to redevelopment of societies and other premises in building proposal department. Some of the key aspects which we should look at, which is very interesting and which is going to promote affordable housing as well as promote a lot of incentives to the developer, are as follows. So looking at this, let's go into the key components. No premium shall be charged for fungible FSI. No premium shall be charged for all the features permitted under regulation 31(1), staircases, lift, lobby, etc. No premium for the affordable housing component. Further, very important to note is that your open space deficiency, your premiums for staircase will be 10% of the normal premium or 25% of ASR. Having said that, it's one and the same. Your premiums of open space and your premiums of staircase, lift, lobby will be reduced to 10% of the normal premium, which is substantial savings for the developer for granting and providing affordable housing in their project or at clubbing it with someone else. In case of layouts which are more than 4,000, of course, there is a cap that you have to also provide commercial PAPs. Now, this commercial PAPs will be in proportion to the column 6, which is the rehab component. You have to give proportionate commercial also. These are applicable only to layouts which are more than 4,000. For properties less than 4,000, you just have to give residential affordable housing units and you're fine. This is as regards the FSI and the incentives, a bit of incentives are concerned. There is a provision of clubbing. This clubbing is a very interesting provision. The clubbing provision really grants a lot of boost for redevelopment of any project in even any better localities. So the clubbing of two schemes, there are two types of clubbing. The first type of clubbing is when you club it within same regulation schemes. So it is very specifically mentioned that the sale components from the additional FSI amongst two or more schemes under this regulation, which means the schemes under 3320B can be interchanged. A developer making an application under this regulation, he can club more than one plots belonging to single or multiple owners and offer affordable housing in any of the plots. So basically what it implies is that you can have 2-3 plots held by one owner or multiple owners, but they can interchange their affordable housing units into one place, and they can bring all the sale into one place, or they can provide all the affordable in one place and get the other plots as sale units. This is something which is a great clubbing bonanza. This clubbing is obviously going to be within the same ward, within 5 kilometers and adjacent ward. This itself is quite huge because the wards are so large that you can absolutely take from Bandra to Andheri, Marol as well. So not a bad thing, but yes, you have a restriction of same ward, adjacent ward and 5 kilometers from the plot. Clubbing will be allowed for schemes falling in the same ward, adjoining ward or within the distance of 5 kilometers. Now, the thing is that when you club it and you provide your affordable housing of Bandra in Andheri, obviously the ready reckoner rate of Bandra is different and the ready reckoner rate of Andheri is different. So when you provide something which needs to be provided in Bandra to be provided in Andheri, the difference in ready reckoner between these two places, you have to pay a 40% difference ready reckoner. But 100 square feet in Bandra can be provided in 100 square, I should not say 100 square feet, 300 square feet of tenement in Bandra can be provided in Andheri exactly 300 square feet. But because the ready reckoner rates are different, a 40% difference will be charged by the BMC. You have to pay this money to the BMC for providing your Bandra unit in Andheri. But that payment of 40% also can be given in two stages. 50% will be paid at the time of IOD or IOA and 50% at the time of CC. Obviously, the payment also has to be done in stages. That's a very good thing. This is as regards clubbing between two 20B schemes, which means you need to have your other person also have a 20B scheme. You should have a 20B scheme. However, you can enhance your FSI under a section 20B scheme, but there is a proviso under clause M. It says that provided that the built-up area of affordable housing stroke RNR component under the 20B scheme can be provided. This is not clubbed. Please mark, it's not clubbed. It is said it can be provided in any location within the same ward, adjoining ward, or within 5 kilometers. When you say provided, it is not being clubbed. It can be provided any place, obviously it implies that it can be provided in any regulation, in any other scheme, in any other way. You can provide this in a MHADA building, you can provide it in an SRA sale component building, on a PTC building, or whatever component, whatever is available in the market, you can provide it there, provided you buy that unit and you provide it to the BMC for affordable housing. The second provision, apart from the clubbing scheme, there is a proviso. This proviso is very interesting because what was initially proposed was that this provision of providing it somewhere else in any other scheme, that is what was mentioned in the notice, there was a caveat that it was as per ready reckoner rate, which means my ready reckoner rate is 3 lakh, Andheri's ready reckoner rate is 1 lakh, then I have to provide 3 units over there. However, now the proviso has changed. Now the provision of handing over in any location within the same ward, adjacent ward on 5 kilometers, you can provide the equivalent area and you have to pay the same 40% ready reckoner difference. This is a game changer. Provided whenever you provide these units, it should be minimum 10 units. That is mentioned in the rider below. Provided that in such cases, minimum 10 numbers of affordable housing scheme units shall be provided in one building. So this rider should be remembered that these provisions of providing it in any location should have at least 10 numbers of affordable units in a building. Now the second provision is that there is handing over, there is in clause M 2 provisions, Roman 1 and Roman 2. So there are cases where a developer provides it in a weaker location. He provides the same area and he gives 40% ready reckoner difference. There is also a provision where I have come across a case where, let's say in Marad, one of my friends was saying, Kurar village, the ready reckoner rate, which is a very weak locality, is 70,000. And my sale building is in Malad, where the ready reckoner rate incidentally is only 50,000. So I can, if I'm providing in Kurar, the ready reckoner rate is high, and I'm providing in Malad, my sale area ready reckoner is less. Now, obviously, there cannot be a 40% difference. It will be negative. BMC will never pay you back or compensate you for that. So what they say is that then you can provide as per ready reckoner ratio. So you have two options: provide the same area, and pay the 40% difference. Incidentally, if your ready reckoner is lesser than the area where you are providing, then you can provide it as per built up area, ready reckoner ratio, which is a very nice scheme. This clubbing scheme and this provision of providing anywhere is something which will really enhance, promote provision of affordable housing. A lot of affordable housings are bound to come in the city. Now, going beyond this, there are certain nice notes to be remembered and certain conditions also which you have to remember. Wherever you provide those 10 units, there is a condition which says that these units should be constructed and completed to be handed over to the BMC, and the age of these tenements at the time of handing over shall not be more than 7 years, which means the 7 years are starting from the date of CC. The date of CC, I would assume it would be the first date of CC for those buildings. There is also a clause N which says the parking requirement. Now, this is a generic clause. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G till Q. So, N clause says the parking requirement is diluted as per regulation 3311, which means your parking requirement is also substantially less. You can provide one car park for 8 apartments of 300 square feet. Likewise, I believe all the relaxation of 3311 for all the sizes of apartments can be taken here, because this is a general provision under the regulation 3320. There is also one more provision of 41.5 which will be applicable under 3320B. Now 41.5 is something where rehab and composite buildings get a huge relaxation in open spaces. For a low-rise building, it will be 3-meter front open space. For a low-rise building, it will be 3-meter front open space and 3 meters all around. For a high-rise building, it will be 6 meters. That's a substantial gain for rehab buildings and composite buildings. This is another game changer which is going to really mark a difference in case of composite buildings. Not so for sale. The biggest change that we see is the regulation 43. Now, your height of the building vis-a-vis road width, you generally end up having front open space deficiency, which is just paper wise, and you end up paying premiums for it. Now, the provision of 43 shall not be applicable for development under 3320B, which means regulation 43 can be ignored when you are proposing any project under 3320B. Whether you club it, whether you provide it somewhere else, your scheme still remains 3320B. This is what I am absolutely reading the regulation the way it is. The last part is that, of course, the major problem which every architect, engineer and developer faces is provision of that garden. The layout open spaces provision, after especially the Supreme Court judgment of providing it on Mother Earth, is causing a lot of disharmony in planning. Here, there is a relaxation pro rata to the affordable housing component. Your layout open spaces will be reduced to 10%. This is overall a sum up of the regulations. Lot of relaxations have come in. I'll also make a short commentary on the plus points, but the regulations is a game changer. This regulation is going to change the dynamics of how city is going to be developed, and I assume a lot of affordable housing is going to be generated by this wonderful policy that has been brought together by the corporation and the government. This kind of policies really promote a lot of affordable housing, which is a much needed thing with the kind of infrastructure development going on in the city, and provided by private players. Of course, they are being incentivized for it. This kind of a regulation change is something which we look forward to and is going to be a game changer for the city.